So what else did you start doing involved in this case?
On October 19th and the 20th, I went back out to the Canebrake neighborhood and continued canvassing the area for potential witnesses or additional security footage.
So we heard Master Deputy Stokes talk about canvassing this neighborhood. Were you doing sort of the same thing?
Yes, sir.
Did y'all do it two separate times?
Yes, sir.
Why is that?
People were at home. People come and go. Her murder happened earlier in the day. People could have been at work. So we go at, usually more than once at different times just to try to catch people when they're at home.
And in doing so, did you talk with Donna Gorman?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right, about when did you talk with her?
That would be the afternoon of October 20th.
And at that time, had y'all obtained ring cameras and video footage related to this case?
Yes, sir, we had.
And did you show her a copy of the individual that was on a bike at that time?
No, I did not.
Did anybody else speak with Donna Gorman?
Investigator Riley Stokes.
And do you know when he spoke with her?
The day of Miss Parcell's murder.
All right. And about when did you obtain video footage of a suspect leaving on a bicycle?
October 14th, I believe.
All right. So after you continued to canvass the neighborhood, what did you do?
I made contact with Miss Gorman and spoke with her.
Okay. And then after that, what did you do?
After that, it was on October 22nd that myself and Investigator Sparkman learned that Michael Manal is somebody that was familiar with John Mello, and it was suggested that we speak with him.
Did you, in fact, try to go and locate Michael Manal?
Yes, sir.
All right. And where did you locate him?
So we were told that he rides the Greenlink buses, so we went around to some of their bus stops and we located him getting off a bus on Orange Road.
And did you speak with him?
Yes, sir, we did.
Was that the gentleman who just testified?
Yes, sir, it was.
And did you have the occasion to obtain a DNA sample from him?
Yes, sir, he gave consent.
And where did you take that sample?
It was in the CID interview room in the homicide office.
Did y'all carry him down there, or did he meet y'all there?
No, he doesn't have a vehicle, so he rode in Investigator Sparkman's SUV.
And down there, did you take a buccal swab sample?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 111. Ask if you recognize that.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
This is the packaging for the buccal swab that I collected from Mr. Manal.
All right. And you like to open it?
Yes.
See what's inside of it. All right. And inside State's Exhibit 11.
Yes, sir. This is the buccal swab I collected from Mr. Manal, 2 of them.
Now, what did you do with those buccal swabs?
I placed them into our property and evidence room.
Now, after you spoke with Mr. Manal, what did you do?
I began researching Zachary Hughes.
And so how would you go about doing that?
So I started, I just did a basic Google search of Zachary Hughes, Greenville, South Carolina.
And what did you find?
I found...
may we approach?
Yes, sir.
So, Master Deputy Wolfe, in trying to locate Zachary David Hughes, what did you do?
So I began by just doing a basic Google search of something along the lines of Zachary Hughes, Greenville, South Carolina. The first thing I noticed is there were several articles online about him being a pianist, being famous for being able to play music by memory.
Okay. And then once you had that information, what did you do?
So then I logged into my South Carolina DMV online account, and I obtained a picture of Mr. Hughes' driver's license, his DMV photo. I showed that photo to Mr. Manal just to confirm that I was looking at the same Zachary Hughes that he was referring to.
Was it confirmed?
Yes, sir.
So once you've confirmed the person that you're looking into, what did you do next?
Well, I continued to look at his DMV online account, and one thing that I found was important is the address on his driver's license was 200 Tyndall Avenue. 200 Tyndall Avenue is located within the city limits of Greenville. A few months prior to Ms. Parcell's murder, the Greenville Police Department had installed traffic cameras around the city. So since he lived in the city, I believed if he had a vehicle, there would be some photos on these traffic cameras of his vehicle. So also using my South Carolina DMV online account, I found that he had a gold 1999 Ford Ranger registered to his name. So the city uses a traffic camera system, some people call them license plate readers, LPRs for short, called flock. When you pass a flock camera, it takes a picture of your license plate in the back right side of your vehicle, and then it goes into a database that's searchable. So once I had Mr. Hughes' license plate from the DMV, I entered it into the flock system. At that time, flock had a retention period of 90 days, and I found 55 images of Mr. Hughes' vehicle.
Now explain this, Jerry. So how many flock cameras are there around Greenville County?
At that time, they were just in the city, I would say maybe 10 to 15.
Okay, so we only had 10 to 15 cameras in the city limits.
Yes, the county had not yet employed any flock cameras.
And now you say you have access to this flock camera system. Is this a nationwide system or a local system?
Yes, so Flock is a national company. They sell these traffic cameras to law enforcement agencies across the country.
All right, so after you searched a car registered to Zach Hughes, what'd you find?
So I found the 55 images of his vehicle during that 90-day retention period. I found 2 images the day of Ms. Parcell's murder.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as States Exhibit 114 and 115. I'm going to ask you if you recognize those.
Yes, sir. These are the Flock pictures of Mr. Hughes' vehicle on October 13th, 21.
Your Honor, State moves Exhibits 114 and 115 into evidence.
No objection.
114 and 115.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm showing you States Exhibit 114. Can you tell the jury what's in this photo and the time and date?
Yes, sir. This is a photo of Mr. Hughes' 1999 Ford Ranger. It was captured at 2:31 p.m. on October 13th at the Bunkman-Rutherford intersection. And then you can see a black bicycle in the bed of his truck.
So that was at 2:31 in the afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Why was this significant?
Because we have the video of a suspect leaving the crime scene on a black bike.
I'm going to show you what's States Exhibit 102. Was this what you were trying to compare it to?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what was your conclusions?
My conclusion is that there's a lot of similarities between the bike in the photo you were holding up and the bike in the bed of Mr. Hughes' truck.
And I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 115. What is that?
That is another flock camera of Mr. Hughes' vehicle at night. Lawrence in East Washington, 7:30 on the same day.
But you can't really see anything.
No, sir.
So as a result of that, what did you do?
So after learning this information, I acquired search warrants for 200 Tyndall Avenue, Mr. Hughes' truck, his DNA, and his cell phone.
Now, did you, after talking with Mr. Manigault and your independent research, did you learn where John Mello lived or had a house at the time?
Yes, sir.
And where is that?
So he has a house here in Greenville in 12 Blake Street.
And did you also look into the location of Mr. Mello at this particular time?
Yes, sir.
And were you able to confirm where he wasn't?
Yes. We obviously had to consider him as a potential suspect. We were told at the beginning he was potentially in Italy, so we had to confirm that.
And were you able to confirm that?
Yes, sir.
So you went and got a search warrant for 200 Tyndall.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did y'all go out to 200 Tyndall?
Yes, sir, we did.
And did you execute a search warrant on that house?
Yes, sir, we did.
All right. Tell this jury how that occurred.
So we started by meeting at a predetermined location a few miles from the address, and we had a deputy in a unmarked vehicle drive by the house to make sure Mr. Hughes was going to be there. Mr. Hughes was actually leaving the driveway at that time, so we waited at our predetermined location until he returned. Once he returned, we went to the house to execute the search warrant.
Okay. And did you learn who, now, did the defendant own this house?
No, sir.
Did you discover or learn who the owners of this house were?
Yes, sir.
And who was that?
Jeanette and Marshall Wynn.
So how many individuals arrived on which day was this?
This would have been October 22nd.
Okay. So October 22nd.
Yes, sir.
So about 9 days after the murder.
Yes, sir.
So tell us what happened when y'all arrived.
So when we arrived, we sent deputies to the front of the house and then to the back of the house. Their driveway is located behind the house. You have to go down a side street to get to it. And I was one of the deputies that went to the back of the house. I parked directly behind Mr. Hughes's Ford Ranger. When we exited our vehicles, he was standing inside the house right in front of a double French door. When I first observed him, he already had his hands up. So.
And did he have a cell phone?
Yes, sir, he did.
Where was the cell phone?
It was in his hand.
Okay. And did you approach him, or did he come out?
No, we called him out to us. Yes, sir.
And what did he do when you called him out?
He complied.
Okay. And what did he do with the cell phone?
He put it down on the table he was standing beside, just almost directly inside the French doors.
Did you secure that cell phone?
Yes, sir.
How did you do that?
It was collected by another deputy and then transported to be downloaded.
And where did they take that cell phone from?
The kitchen table. Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 112. So you recognize this?
Yes, sir. This is the cell phone that we collected that belonged to Mr. Hughes.
Your Honor, State moves Exhibit 112 into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
X 112 comes to evidence.
So, all right, I'm going to show you State's Exhibits 116, 117, and 118. Ask if you recognize this.
Yes, sir. These are photos of 200 Tyndall Avenue.
Your Honor, State moves 116, 117, 118 into evidence.
No objection.
116, 117, and 118 United States.
So, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 117. What is that?
That is the front door if you're on Tyndall Avenue and you're facing the front of their house.
And was that where Zach Hughes was standing?
No, sir.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 116. What about that?
That is the back side of their residence that leads to the area where we were parked.
And where was Mr. Hughes standing when you?
You can kind of see the French doors through the bushes there, but he was standing there. Yes, sir.
All right. So did y'all effectuate the search warrant?
Yes, sir.
And did you? So what at this point? What is important to your investigation?
So at this point, we knew Miss Parcell was killed with a sharp force object, so we're looking for any type of knife, screwdriver, anything of those means, clothing, book bag, a bicycle, things like that.
And did y'all search the house looking for those items?
Yes, sir, we did.
What about who was there or who was living there during the time of the murder?
Mr. Hughes was living at the residence. I assume the Winds.
Were they there on October 13th?
No.
How do you know that?
When we were able to access Mr. Hughes' cell phone, he was receiving pictures from the Winds while they were in Europe.
And did you talk to the Winds when y'all were executing the search warrant?
Investigator Sparkman and I did, yes.
Were they compliant?
Yes, sir.
In terms of looking for a bike, did y'all locate one?
Yes, sir, we did.
I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibits 119 through 125. I'm going to ask you to look at State's Exhibits 119 through 125 and ask you if you recognize those.
Yes, sir, I recognize these photos.
And I apologize. I'm going to have to backtrack 2 seconds. I forgot one of my exhibits. But I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit. I need a number. going to show you State Exhibit 132. Do you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
So that is a photo of Mr. Hughes' vehicle with the bike in the bed of the truck on the day of Ms. Parcell's murder. And then that is just a Google image of the Buncombe and Rutherford area where the camera is placed.
Okay. State moves 132 into evidence.
No objection.
32 comes into evidence.
All right. Now back to 210. Did y'all focus on the garage at some point?
Yes, sir, we did.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 119. Is that the garage?
Yes, sir.
You know, I don't know, are these in evidence? I'm not sure.
I think
Oh.
He was getting ready to.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked.
The other thing.
All right.
It's 119 through 125.
119 through 125.
Defense position.
No objection.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. We like a clean record.
I understand. Thank you. A lot of exhibits, it gets confusing.
A ton.
All right, I'll show you State's Exhibit 119. And you said that's the garage?
Yes, sir.
Did y'all enter inside the garage?
Yes, sir, we did.
All right. I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 120. And what'd you find inside?
We found several bicycles inside the garage.
Okay. Were some bikes, well, explain the different bikes that you found inside.
So there's some bikes, as you can see to the upper left of this vehicle that's, mounted on the wall. Several on the ground as well near that vehicle that were just dirty, dusty, look like they've just been sitting in a garage for a long period of time and are not used regularly. And then to the right of that vehicle, you can see there's a bike sitting upside down on its handlebars and seat. That's a black bike that was very similar to the other two images we had. And it was pristine condition, perfectly clean.
All right, so I'm going to show you State's Exhibits 121. What are the bikes on the left there, or in this little?
Those are just some of the other bikes, the dirtier bikes that we found in their garage.
Did those bikes look like they had been ridden?
No, sir. Some of them had cobwebs on them.
All right, and I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 123.
Yes, sir. That is the black bike that I mentioned earlier that was sitting upside down and was just very, very clean.
When you say very, very clean, what do you mean?
So compared to everything else in this garage, it's just a dirty, dusty garage. Things sit there and collect dust and dirt. And this bike looked like it just rolled off the showroom floor. I'll show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 133. You recognize this? Yes, sir, I do. What is this? This is the bike that was seized from the garage at 200 Tyndall.
State moves 133 into evidence.
No objection.
Objection, 133 comes in.
Now, did you do any comparison with this bike and the other photos?
Yes, sir.
And what did you conclude?
There's a lot of similarities, such as the frame of the bike, the shape of the handlebars, the placement of the brakes.
And you compared it to the photos from the Ring cameras?
Yes, sir.
So, once y'all concluded the search of 200 Tyndall, what did you do next?
The Ford Ranger was taken back to the crime scene unit's office, so I responded there while a forensic technician processed the vehicle.
And then once you concluded that search warrant, were you able to locate another location that may be important in this case?
Yes, sir.
Tell us, jury, about that.
Through phone location, we located a residence on Indian Flats Trail in Marietta that was also owned by Jeanette Wynn.
And did y'all, in fact, go up to Indian Flats Trail?
Yes, sir, we did.
All right. And did y'all get a search warrant for that?
Yes, sir.
And when did you get that search warrant?
It was in April of 2023.
So why did it take so long?
The location data from his cell phone, we did not have his password, so the initial downloads were only partials.
So when you obtained information that Zach Hughes might have been at that location, you obtained a search warrant?
Yes, sir.
So where is Indian Flats?
It's in the northern area of Greenville County.
And so how long do you think drive-wise would it take to get there?
About an hour.
All right. So when did you go up there to serve a search warrant?
It was in April of 23, I believe April 14th, but I could be wrong on that date.
And who went with you?
Most of the homicide unit.
Most of the homicide unit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what were you looking for?
So at this point, we still had not recovered a murder weapon or clothing that Mr. Hughes or the suspect was wearing at the time of the murder.
These are not, I don't have numbers on these. All right, Master Deputy Wolfe, I'm going to show you 130, States Exhibits 134 through 139. Ask if you recognize those.
Yes, sir, I do. These are photos of the Wynn's residence on Indian Flat Trail.
Your state moves 134 through 139 in.
No objection.
Objection. 134 through 139.
All right, I'm going to show you States Exhibit 134. What is that?
That is the front of their residence there, and then on the tree on the right side you can see a trail or deer camera.
Is that what you're referring to right there?
Yes, sir.
Now, as far as location or seclusion related to this house, how would you, where would you compare this house?
This is in the middle of the woods on a mountain. You could walk around naked and there's nobody to see you.
So there's no neighbors near you?
No,
Nobody?
nobody.
Now, did y'all walk all around this house and
Yes, sir.
look at different locations? I'm going to show you States Exhibit 137. What is that?
That's a fire pit or burn pit there on their property.
I guess what you can do there is burn things.
Yes, sir.
And then I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 139.
That is just one of their closets that was full of cleaning materials.
Now, did y'all search the entire house
Yes, sir, we did.
and the surrounding areas?
Yes, sir.
How deep did y'all go into the woods?
Pretty good bit.
Did y'all ever locate anything?
No, sir.
What about that trail camera?
That was seized under the search warrant, and then I obtained another search warrant for the SD card contained within it.
So what is a trail camera? Do you know?
Yes, sir. Most people just use them to take pictures of animals. Some people that hunt put them up in the woods to see, what's in that area. Most of them are motion activated.
Did you seize that trail camera?
Yes, sir.
And what did you do with it after you seized it?
I took it back to our office.
And were you able to look at any photos on the trail camera?
Yes, sir.
How do you do that?
So the camera contained an SD card. I got a separate search warrant to remove the photos or search the SD card. After that, you just plug that SD card into any SD card reader, and all the pictures are there.
And were you able to locate any photos on this trail camera?
Yes, sir, I was.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 140. Ask if you recognize it.
Yes, sir. This is the trail camera we seized from that tree on Indian Flats Trail in Marietta.
State moves Exhibit 140.
No objection.
No objection.
And you were able to locate some photos on that trail camera?
Yes, sir.
All right. What were those photos of?
Zachary Hughes.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibits 141 through 145. Ask if you recognize those.
Yes, sir. These are photos of Mr. Hughes that were recovered from that trail camera.
State moves 141 through 145.
No objection.
No objection. 145.
So I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 145. What is that?
That's a photo of Mr. Hughes.
All right, and what is the date of that photo?
October 11th.
About what time?
A little after 10 a.m.
Was that 2 days before the murder?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything significant on here?
Yes, sir. The hoodie or jacket that he is wearing is significant.
Why is that?
So you can see the outside is black. We have the individual on the bicycle riding away on a black hoodie, but you can also tell the top being folded out, the inside is a grayish color. The person who entered her house was wearing a gray jacket.
State's Exhibit 105. Is this the photo that you're referring to?
Yes, sir, it is.
And is this what is this photo?
It's a photo of a person entering her house shortly before she was killed.
And what color is the sweatshirt?
Gray.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 141. What kind of haircut does Mr. Hughes have at that time?
I don't know what you would call it. It's shaved on the side with looks like a long ponytail in the back.
And what arm, what left or right arm is he carrying something?
Left.
And then State's Exhibits 142. Is that
Another picture of Mr. Hughes.
another picture? And again, this is on what date?
The same date, October 11th.
And then finally, State's Exhibit 144.
It's a zoomed in picture with Mr. Hughes on the same date.
So that would be what Mr. Hughes looked like on October 11th of 2021.
Yes, sir.
Just a couple more questions. Master Deputy, approximately how far from that mountain house to the Canebrake location would it take to drive?
I believe a little over an hour.
So how many flock photos did you locate of Zach Hughes's car when you did the search?
55.
Right. And of all those photos, how many did you find his car with a bike in the back?
Just one.
And what date was that?
October 13th of 2021.
Thank you. Answer any questions the defense counsel may have.
Yes, sir.